and see what the other ones were. But the idea was that in rural areas, CPR is something that has to be done for a much longer period of time than it does in the city. In the city, if somebody has a heart attack, they're within 15 minutes of a hospital. You get to some of these rural areas, and they might be 45 minutes to a hospital. And it is very difficult to do effective CPR for that long. So these things were concentrated on the rural areas so that CPR could be done much more effectively over a longer period of time. And they do fulfill that purpose really, really well. With this device, when it's put on properly, then the EMTs don't have to worry about doing chest compressions anymore, and now they can work on doing airway and getting good airflow. And, you know, in the rural, as we've talked about before, the rural squads have a little harder time getting enough people, you know, on a call once in a while. Mm-hmm. So having this be able to do compressions for them takes the place of probably two people, two MTs, one doing the compressions and the other one holding them and exchanging back and forth so while they rest. Because if you're, like I say, doing it effectively for very long, it's very tiring to do CPR. So I'll kind of go through the process of this thing, and you can just, I'm not going to try and hurry up and do it by any means, but stop and ask me questions as I go if you want. Why is that, and what's that for, and how does that work? But I'll just set it up here so you can see what it's about. But it's I don't know, you could judge for yourself how much it weighs. It's probably 15 pounds, the whole thing is. And it's in a nice case that's, you know, a backpack thing. So if we needed to carry it into a wooded area or something like that, it's pretty easy to maneuver. Very quick to use. Tear that off like so, and undo that part. This is the back piece that goes under the backs. So you're actually, when somebody is down, somebody would be doing CPR while this is being put on. The key thing here is to try not to have any more than 20 seconds of interruption of effective CPR, because they find that is important, that it be continuous, that you don't stop. So they're doing CPR, they'd say stop, and slide this under for, you know, it takes 5 seconds to do maybe, and they're right back to doing CPR. And then this person is going to pull this out. This is a little brace for later. And you turn the machine on right away. And that's this button right here. Out like so. And then you would say again, stop for a second. And you simply take this thing and push it down, lock that in place, and then this one snaps in place. And that's locked right over top of it. And then you find your landmarks like you would for CPR, which is this notch right here. You go to 2 and you bring this down. Oops. Excuse me. Bring this down into place where you want, right there at that notch. And then this thing will automatically now size this person up so it knows exactly how deep to push and how fast to do the compressions. It's all computer controlled. So if this was a big person, then it's going to know that, and it's going to push harder on a big person than it would on a small person.
Can you use this on children?
You can. Yeah, you can use this on children. Obviously not infants, but you can use it on children. And then you can decide whether you want to go continuous or whether you want to go 15 and then it stops to put in air. And we would do the 15 and 2. So we would go ahead and push there. And this now is going to do CPR. And it'll do 15 compressions, do a little alarm, stop, and now you do a breath. And now we can carry this person, we can pick them up, we can put them on the cot. All right, so now it'll stop for a second, breaths go in, and it'll start back up. And it'll do this for 45 minutes on this battery. And when this battery gets low, we'll get an alarm, and we pull out another battery, and while it's going, we can pull that, slam that other one in, and we'll get another 45 minutes. So we could go an hour and a half to a hospital, and it will do CPR for us while we work on the airway and other things.
Now, does it have a sensor on it that it starts?
All right, so now we will, at the same time, while one person was putting this on, another one would be putting on the defib pads. And the defib machine will say, hey, stop to analyze. We just put this on pause. It'll now analyze again, see whether there's any activity there, and the machine will say, oh, we've got them converted, or it'll say, no, continue CPR. And we
And
go
how
right
much time goes in between you shutting that off and
Oh, that machine takes 10 seconds to analyze to see whether or not CPR should be continued. Now, there have been a lot of stories from the people who trained us and from people who have used this thing the other feature of this that is so much better than CPR as done by hand is this thing right here is a suction cup. So it not only pulls, but it also pulls the chest, and therefore, actually, they're saying you don't need as good an airway because it will be drawing air in and out as you go, and the compressions are so effective that this thing will actually circulate blood in a person who is no longer alive, and they may regain consciousness. They may regain consciousness and not be alive, simply because it's circulating their blood and giving them breaths when their heart is not able to do anything. So this then allows you to get to the hospital, and like I say, then the doctor can decide where this person is at, whether the CPR is going to be continued or not. But even in the hospital setting, this is a big plus for the people in the emergency room, so that again, they don't have to use personnel to do this part of the process. And you know it's being done effectively and exactly as it's supposed to be. And the other thing about it, it's just like, it doesn't change anything that has been done for 20 years in CPR. It just does it better and more consistent.
And who did you say invented that?
Well, I can't tell you who invented it. The name on it is the Lucus 2. But we got this from, again, a grant from the Helmsley Foundation. I don't know, this is called the Lucus 2. I'm sure that's because there's been a Lucus 1 out there prior to. And I know now there is a Lucus 3 out already.
Yeah.
And it's Bluetooth capability, so it'll actually interact with a computer or a phone so that you can get information back and forth from it that way.
So do you know the numbers on how many lives is contributed to?
I can't tell you that. I don't have those numbers, and I would guess that you could go to something Lucus 2 Helmsley Foundation donations or something like that, and get a lot more background information. What the total amount given, I don't know that. I just know that if we were to buy this thing, it'd have been $12,000 to $15,000 to buy it. And which means, I don't know, we would probably try to do some.
So everyone in Northeast Nebraska has one?
They had the opportunity to have one if they wanted it. Now, there are some squads that already had another device called the Autopulse. The Autopulse has been out there a little longer, but it's a device that wraps around the chest and it squeezes the whole chest. And I don't know, in our training, they said this was better because when you squeeze the whole chest, you're also squeezing the arteries so that the blood can't flow through them. It says this does a better job, but of course they're biased in selling it too, as opposed to not a full.
Now, is there less injury to the rib cage?
That I don't know if there's, my guess would be it would be comparable because the other one goes around the whole thing and it squeezes the whole thing, so I'm sure it breaks ribs also. And I would assume that in an elderly person, especially whose bones are frail, it would still have some
I wasn't sure
fractures.
that condition, a broken rib is a.
It's a pretty minor thing, if you're right. If your heart's not beating, the broken rib is secondary. And that is the reason why a lot of CPR is not done effectively, because if you do CPR effectively, you oftentimes will break a rib. And when you feel that happen, most people back off. You know, it's hard to push that hard again, and therefore the CPR is just not done effectively like it should.
You have to let that go.
You have to get that out of your head. You gotta push like you know, like you've been trained and like you know what you gotta do, or you're just not gonna, you're not moving any blood. And if you're not moving any blood, you're not doing anything for your patient.
Yeah. So, you had this a year now?
We've had it, probably 6 months. We got it just probably in January or thereabouts, so maybe 8 months, but less than a year we've had it. And we have not yet used it. That's a good thing. It would be great if we never have to, but I've been around long enough to know that we will use it. And I just think it's a good thing for people to know what it is we're doing. Before they see it being used, they know what is happening here, so that we don't have to try and explain it to people while we're in the middle of the situation. So the more people know that we've got it and what it's about. I don't think, I've seen both work. I've seen the auto pulse work, and I've seen the Lucus too, not on people but on mannequins. And this one to me is less traumatic. The auto pulse, when it squeezes the whole body just thrashes when it squeezes, because everything just moves around. And to me, that I look at that and cringe a lot more than I do this, because this you expect to see. I mean, people expect CPR. They understand the concept of auto pulse.
Not people flashing
People do not get auto pulse at all, where this is not as traumatic, I don't think, for them. Columbus paramedics were up here for a training not too long ago, and they said they used it on a patient, and they said it was amazing. They said they put it on them, their eyes opened up, they started, moving, so they shut it, put it on pause. Well, as soon as they put it on pause, this person goes back out, because the heart is not moving any blood. The only thing moving blood to their brain was this. So they found, and every time they started back up, then the eyes would come open again. And they found they needed to use drugs to keep them sedated so they could continue to use it. Because it circulated blood that well for them. And as I said, I think it does the oxygenation too, because it's gonna, when you're pushing here, you're just depending on the recoil of the chest to get air in. And this actually draws the chest up, so you know if this comes up, there's got to be air going in there. And so now it's a matter of us getting our airway and maximizing that airflow, putting pure CO2 on it rather than just normal air. And now I think they've got a lot better chance. I really do. To me, it makes perfect sense. So I was excited when I saw it.
So are you going to be doing another training on that pretty soon? Or?
Well, we've had all of our people have been trained on it now, all of our EMTs, and we every so many months we pull all these toys out and we go through and review them. I do like the fact that this is so simple. There isn't a lot of training to it. There's two pieces. And then I guess then you also use this and put their hands in there, so their hands are also, I'll show you here what I'm saying, so that when you lift your patient and you put them on the cot and you go through doorways and stuff, you don't have their limbs getting caught. So now you've got a place to grab on both sides, you can get a hold of them, you can put them on the cot and go. And during that whole time, you haven't interrupted any CPR, because this is going to happen while you're moving them around, while you're going into the hospital, while you're loading them into the ambulance. CPR is happening that whole time. And there's only 3 buttons on it, which makes it very simple. Just turn it on, set the plunger, and start. And so it's pretty foolproof. there was a question asked, you know, is it big enough for a larger person? It doesn't look like. But they say if you can fit them in here, even if you got to squeeze them around and put it on there, that's good enough. And so we tried in our class. We took some pretty big people, and you could fit them in there as long as, like I say, you can get these things latched on the sides. You don't need any space above to let it work.
Oh, okay, so where that plunger is from the body to the plunger part can be very minimal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it can be, if I go back, here, I can go back to this, and then you can pull it up. See, I can go clear there, so this person could be that thick. As long as, there don't need to be any space there. As long as you can fit them in there and squeeze them up into this space you have here, it'll work. And like I say, even when, even if you got to push them in there and pry, they said that's okay. Now you say you can't do infants, but children, it's okay to use.
So you're talking maybe 2 and over?
Oh, no, I'm talking maybe 10.
Oh, okay.
10 to 12, I would guess, when we put them in child. Well, I suppose, and again, that's back too, as I said in class, that depends. There's some pretty big 8-year-olds today. Yeah. And if they fit in here, if the plunger will measure them, you can go. It will tell you if it won't fit. I mean, it'll say error, that they're too small, this is not gonna work. And
do you think they'll come out with one for?
You know, it's possible that maybe they already do. I don't know. The incidence of heart attacks, true heart attacks in that age group, though, is so small. I don't know what kind of a call it would be, what kind of a demand you'd have for. Most heart attacks happen, you know, from 40 on up. They're common, but you get less than that. Usually they have other issues. Then it's not a heart attack as such.
Oh, okay, so, but you can still use that, like, say, on a drowning victim or something,
yes.
Right? I mean,
yes.
that has a
yes.
soft heart.
That's correct.
So what are the hours of training on that?
We had to take a full day of training in Kearney, and Ray, Herbert, and I went to it, and then we came back and trained our people.
And that was in Kearney?
That was in Kearney. We had to go there for the training.
Do you remember when that was?
No, I don't. It was
last year?
Yeah, it was last year sometime. It was several months, a couple of months before we actually got, well, I shouldn't say that. We actually got the machine, and it had to have been right around the first of the year, because we got the machine when we went to the training. You could not have the machine. They had them all in a stack there. You show up for training, you get one. But we're not just going to send it out, which is wise. They don't want it out there with people that don't know what they're doing or haven't been trained. So.
Now all your EMTs are trained on it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've all went through, and we didn't give them a full day of training when we came back. We went through and picked out the parts that, because a lot of it had to do with the paperwork and that sort of thing. We didn't need to go through that. We just needed to go through here are the situations you'd use it in, and taking it off, it's just little fingers in there and latches it, and it's off, and that's all there is to it.